Hello, my name is Ghandi and welcome to my channel. This is a cross stitch channel where we talk about cross stitch and projects and fabrics and all the adventures that as stitchers we have. I am right now stitching this little sampler. Is the pink Sparrow sampler by Brenda Gervais. Is this one? I'm using CXC flosses. I make a conversion of the colors. I made first the conversion to DMC and then to CXC. The numbers are the same for DMC and CXC, but they are slightly different, so yeah. And I'm using this fabric, this cotton fabric. It's like a 38, 40 count, and I'm really enjoying this. I started this a couple of days ago, and it's a really quick and an easy project, really pretty. I decided to stitch the border, and I finished the border. You know, this red, this green little snake. And when I arrived here, you know, to the starting point, I realized that I made a mistake and I was one thread of fabric off. So I decided to, you know, to leave it like that, because I was sure that the mistake was, you know, in the in some of this point. But no, I made the mistake just here. So I undone this part, and this is where I made a cross in one thread of fabric instead of two. So yeah, I'm going to do it again, and hopefully this time I got my border correct. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these flosses with this fabric. I mean, this is not a traditional cross stitch fabric. It's a fabric that I got here in my city. It's a cotton fabric, but I mean, I can count the threads, and it's very similar to linen, and I love it. And even though it's not completely regular, you know, in the width and height aspect, it's slightly had like it's like 38 by 39. So yeah, the variation is not very much, and I really like to stitch on this. I was working on my Merrily We Welcome Spring, and I'm stitching that project in a 40 count linen, and I'm having such a difficult time. And I'm using Anchor flosses and DMC flosses in that design. It's by Blackbird Designs. And when I decided to start this new project and, you know, pick these colors and this fabric, I feel the change. I feel much more comfortable stitching in this combo of materials with this fabric and with these threads, with these flosses. So yeah, really happy. And also because these materials I can get it here in my city, so I don't need to order from the United States. And you know me and my difficult to get orders. So yeah, I'm really happy that I can have these materials here. These flosses you can order from AliExpress, but I don't usually order things from China. I mean, right now it's a difficult topic, but even before, I never order anything from China, because again, I order some scissors and things like that, but many of the purchases that I make never arrives, and so I don't order from China. But these flosses, these Chinese flosses or CXC flosses, one of the needle store that I go here in my city are starting to sell those flosses, and I mean, it will be cheaper if I order myself, but I don't want to risk because of the current situation and because of my bad history with lost packages. So yeah, I'm really happy I can, just go to the store and get these flosses and this fabric. I can again go to my fabric store, one of the fabric stores here in my city, and get this fabric, and they're in this color, like beige, in white, and they have in a darker beige, in a really intense pink, like this one. They have the fabric in this one, and also in brown, not like this, like brown. So yeah, and I can dye this fabric. So I have linen and luganas and aidas, but it's always nice to be able to get materials locally, and also I can help the business of my city. So yeah, so I decided to start this, and right now I'm making a lot of mistakes. So apparently I can make my border be complete, but yeah, don't pay attention to the lady undone their stitches, hair stitches. I want to finish this sampler, in a frame, but I will try to make like hem stitch in the border, to try to give it a little more like primitive aspect. I don't know, I'm not an expert in doing that kind of finish, but I would like to try. And this project is really pretty and really small, and I think I can make an attempt to finish with a hem stitch and try to make something different. I have a question. Perhaps some of you have finished a work with that technique. After you do the hem stitch and you finish your piece, how do you mount it in a frame? I mean, because if I'm going to frame this piece, I usually lace the piece in the mat or in the foam core, and then place it in the frame. But if I make the hem stitch, how do you frame it? You just put it here and then separation and then the glass, or I don't know. How do you do it? If you know how, please let me know. Or if you have, if you know of some tutorial, yeah, how do you do that? Perhaps I can, you know, place it in the base of the frame and just fix it with some pins, you know. I don't know. I will have to look how to place a finished stitching piece with hem stitch in the border, so I would know what to do. But yeah, I like that technique. How you can see it's a nice touch to the fabric, so I will try to do that. And yeah, I've been stitching not much because all the situation, and I'm not really in the mood for stitching a lot. But yeah, I try to do something. I was making a face mask yesterday, and baking. I make cinnamon rolls, really good. But yeah, I don't feel like, you know, stitching all the things. So I slowly trying to make myself, you know, in the mood for the stitching. I mean, it's not hard because I love to stitch, but yeah, sometimes you feel, you know, a little down. But yeah, I try to watch some floss tubes and let me see, yeah, and stayed motivated. But it's not always easy. I'm trying not to finish in the back of my stitching piece, but yeah, I need it in this case. You know, I'm not trying to make a perfect back, but yeah, it's not that bad. You can say it's decent, but I was talking in one of my Spanish videos that, I mean, I know how to do a perfect back, but it's not something that I wanted to do, and I find all backs, all the backs of the stitching, I find it to be perfect. I like, you know, the really neat ones with all the stitches really perfect, and it's like a mirror image of the front of the stitching piece. I really love that kind of backs, but I also love the backs where you have all the flosses all around the piece in the back. I love that kind of backs. I mean, for me, every back is perfect. And I love to watch all the different backs of the stitching pieces. So yeah, not biggie. Let me see what I'm doing. And How's everybody doing? And hope everybody's okay. Here in Mexico, we are having, a difficult time, but at the same time, there's a lot of different information and, steps that you have to make, but we are trying to emulate the actions from another countries, because our government said that it's not really necessary. So yeah, it's a really difficult time, but yeah, hopefully we will be okay soon. We are scared, not just because of the situation, but because of the economic and financial repercussions. So yeah, but one day at a time. So yeah, I'm trying, slowly to get motivated, but by my stitching. Not always easy, but my patterns that I order from market are not yet, send it to me. It's difficult, so yeah, I was looking yesterday some of the patterns that I have in my stash. I have some Brenda Gervais designs, and they are so pretty, and some blackbird. So perhaps I could, I have a lot of of whips and charts, so I can, if I don't have the new releases from market, it's going to be okay. I mean, it's sad, but yeah, it's okay. So yeah, I probably after this I will continue with my whips and start a small project. Yesterday, the day I was making the face masks, I was looking in my sewing kit, the sewing flosses, and I have really nice colors, very like sampler type of colors. And I was thinking, what, I can make a conversion for one of the samplers that I want to stitch using sewing flosses. And yeah, perhaps I will do. And it's easy for me because I like, because of the difficulties that I have to get materials, fancy flosses or linen or even Aida is sometimes difficult. I like to find substitutions of materials, so I can get sewing floss, sewing threads without any problem. So yeah, I can stitch, and using this type of fabric that I can get here again, I can stitch something using that, and it's fun to find conversions and substitution of the materials, and it's easy for me, and I can get materials quickly, and sometimes you have to find a way. So yeah, I will keep stitching my samplers. Yanni's year of sampler this year, and enjoying every minute, and again trying to find the best way to do that. Yeah. I want to have a wall of samplers, like my wall of Mirabilias. Did you see my video? I was feeling, you know, a little sad, and I decided, you know what, let's make something fun. So I told my kids, please help me to put all my mirabilias, you know, against the wall, so I can have a look of all my mirrors. Well, they're actually not all my mirrors because I stitch a few more, but I give them away as presents. So, but yeah, most of my mirrors were there in my mirror wall, and yeah, it was fun. And the funny thing is, it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and we were you know, watching movies with my kids, and I said, come on kids, help me, help me. And they say, okay, mom. And after I put all the mirrors in the wall, one of my kids asked me, are you going to film a Flosstube video? And I said, no, it's just for the picture. And he said, come on, make a video. We put all this together. And I say, okay. So I recorded a little clip. But yeah, it was fun. And it was nice to look at my mirrors. You know, more than 20 years stitching mirrors, so I have a few. But now I want to have again a wall of samplers, so I need to keep stitching and keep going with this. They are so lovely to stitch, and I have a few, you know, different models and designs and types of samplers, you know, reproductions and originals, and they're all beautiful. I really love to stitch letters, you know. Most of the samplers have letters, so I enjoy stitching letters, so that's a good thing. And the border is not something that I enjoy that much. I mean, I like them. I like to stitch the border, but yeah, it's not my forte. And I love the challenge of doing all the border, and, you know, find out if I got it right, like in this case, that I got it wrong in the first attempt. But let's see. I need to make 5 crosses here in diagonal. 1, 2, 3. Dun, dun, dun. 4. Dun, dun, dun. And 5. Yeah, we have a match. Yeah, my border is a match. Yeah. So I love that little challenge when you're doing these samplers. I love to stitch the border. Yeah, let me cut this floss, and you can see it's a match. Yeah. Tin, 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 tin. Okay, now I almost finished this top part, but before that I want to stitch this beautiful vase with flowers. So, and these little birds, oh, so pretty, and the dogs. My dog was right here just a minute ago because my kids have to take her, you know, outside, so the dog can do what she can do, and then came back. And but yeah, she was really happy. But it's not my dog, she's not like these dogs. My dog is a really big dog, as everything in this house except me. So yeah, okay, let's see if I can put this stitch with me. It's a quick one, and I will try to stitch this sampler. The idea is to finish this in the next day, so I can have another beautiful sampler for my growing collection. So have a nice day, have a nice week, stay well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.